The final scene demands meticulous arrangement, with evidence folders placed on the kitchen counter, divorce papers beside them, and yellow tabs marking the signature lines. Post-it notes highlight key exhibits, and the lawyer's business card is placed strategically atop another piece, all serving a tactical purpose. Hey there, it's Julia. All right, here's the deal with marriage. Sometimes you wake up one day, look at your husband slurping his Cheerios, and you think, oh my God, I've married a human doormat. That's exactly what happened to me. It was exactly 3 months ago, sitting across from Matt at our marble breakfast bar, the one I insisted on installing, which cost a fortune, by the way. Did he complain? Of course not. He doesn't have an opinion about anything. Don't get me wrong, 8 years ago, when we first got married, his laid-back attitude was sexy as hell, like dating a Zen master with a six-pack. His smile and the way he'd say, "Whatever makes you happy, babe," used to make me weak in the knees. Now, it just makes me want to toss his perfectly organized sock drawer out the window. Naturally, I started testing him. Anyone would. First, with small things. Ordering 200 bottles of wine at dinner, forgetting his mother's birthday. She's had enough birthdays anyway. And transforming his man cave into my yoga studio while he was at work. You know what he did? Sipped the wine with a smile, sent his mum belated flowers, and started practicing yoga. Yoga! My best friend Melissa said over our third martini last week. You're being a psycho. She's in therapy, so now she thinks she can just say things like that. I corrected her, waving down the bartender for another round. I'm running an experiment for science. The experiment reached its peak yesterday when I casually announced that I was going to Vegas with my single friends. Dropped it right over dinner like a glitter bomb at a funeral. By the way, honey, I'm hitting Vegas next week with the girls. Might hook up with someone. Do you know what he did? He looked up from his perfectly seasoned salmon. He's been taking cooking classes for God's sake. Smiled that annoyingly serene smile and asked if I needed him to drive me to the airport. I wanted to scream. I wanted to flip the table. Heck, I wanted him to flip the table. Instead, I just smiled back and said, "That will be lovely, dear." So now I'm packing my outfits, including that red dress he once called a bit much, the closest he's ever come to criticism. I'm maxing out our joint credit card on new shoes and posting thirst traps on Instagram. Each notification feels like a tiny victory, especially when it's from men who aren't my husband. The girls think I'm crazy. They're probably right. But you know what's really crazy? Being married to someone who treats marriage like he's a customer service rep. And I'm always right. What if he divorces you? Melissa asked, horror in her vodka-glazed eyes. I actually laughed out loud. Matt, divorce me? Please. That would require confrontation, backbone, and actual emotions. 3 things my husband apparently traded in for his collection of self-help books and protein powder. No. What's going to happen is this. I'll go to Vegas, have my fun, documented on social media, of course, and come home to find he's cleaned the house, meal prepped my favorite foods, and probably signed us up for couples therapy. Because that's what Matt does. He works on himself, while I work on seeing how far I can push him, before he shows any real human emotion. Tomorrow I leave for Vegas. The red dress is packed, my Instagram story's already popping off, and my sweet husband is probably ironing my favorite travel outfit. Poor, sweet, pathetic Matt. He has no idea what's coming. Or maybe he does and just doesn't care. I honestly don't know which would be worse. Hi, I'm Matt. When Julia told me about her Vegas trip over dinner, I simply nodded and asked if she needed a ride to the airport. I kept my expression neutral, hiding the plan that was already forming in my mind. 8 years of military service taught me the value of appearing passive while preparing for action. As she explained her plans with her single friends and hinted at potential hookups, I maintained my calm exterior, the same one she's grown to expect and clearly despise. The moment her Uber left, I made 2 calls. First to James Chun, the most discreet private investigator in the city. Then to Sarah Mitchell, a divorce lawyer specializing in cases that need extensive documentation. Both meetings were scheduled within the hour. From my military experience, I knew the crucial importance of the moments right after identifying a threat. Time wasted is ground lost. My training took over, and I began assessing the situation and gathering information. The private investigator would track her every move, transaction, and social media post. We set up a thorough surveillance plan covering all the major hotels, clubs, and venues in Vegas. James understood exactly what I needed: detail, precision, and total discretion. Every photograph had to be timestamped, every receipt recorded, and every social media post archived with blockchain verification. The lawyer laid out our strategy. Documentation was everything. Every indiscretion, every unauthorized expense, and every provocative post would strengthen our case. Sarah outlined the legal steps: financial separation, asset documentation, evidence gathering. Everything by the book, just like I'd handled sensitive operations overseas. This would be executed with military precision. I set up a complete surveillance operation. Every club, every hotel, every potential venue where Julia might create evidence would be monitored and documented. The investigators' team was positioned at key locations across Vegas, ready to capture any relevant information. Their reports would come in real time, allowing us to adjust our strategy as necessary. The divorce preparations were immediate. New bank accounts were opened at a different bank. Important documents secured in a safety deposit box, and a detailed inventory of our assets was compiled, including photographs and appraisals of major items. Everything was done quietly, efficiently, and with no sign of activity. Years of military operations taught me that successful missions require thorough preparation. Each day, I maintained the appearance Julia expected, sending my usual supportive texts: "Have fun, stay safe, miss you." Every message was carefully crafted to keep her sense of control intact. Let her think she's in charge. Let her get bolder. Let her create more evidence. When she posted provocative photos, I responded with bland emojis. When she tagged herself at clubs with other men, I simply liked the posts. In my home office, out of sight of any prying eyes, I meticulously organized every piece of documentation: financial records, social media screenshots, surveillance reports, all catalogued with military precision. The evidence was piling up every hour. Each new addition bolstered my position. Every photo was backed up in triplicate, every document scanned and secured. The lawyer received daily updates, helping us build an airtight case. Throughout it all, I kept quiet with our friends and family. No emotional outbursts, no warnings, no signs of what was coming. Julia's messages grew bolder, more provocative. I continued to respond with the same passive acceptance she had come to expect. My military training had taught me the importance of strategic patience. Each provocative post, every unauthorized charge, every documented indiscretion only strengthened our case. The trap was set, the foundation laid. Each piece of evidence was carefully collected and preserved, each legal document prepared and reviewed. Every step was planned and executed with precision. Now it was just a matter of waiting for her return, when she would discover that what she mistook for weakness was actually carefully calculated strength. 8 years of marriage were about to end, not with an emotional confrontation, but with the precision of a well-executed military operation. Vegas feels like freedom. 3 days in and I've stopped pretending to care about consequences. I met David at Excess on the first night, a smooth-talking investment banker who didn't care about my wedding ring. Ended up in his cosmopolitan suite. No regrets. The days passed lazily at the pool. Drinks, sun, flirting with the cabana boys. Nights are what truly count, though. David has become a regular part of it. Dinners, clubs, and then back to his suite. Occasionally, his friend Mark joins us. No matter what, Matt's supportive texts only make everything easier. I spent most of yesterday at David's suite, and the girls have stopped asking where I am. They know. Melissa attempted to intervene on the first day, but gave up after I made it clear I'm done with pretending to be the perfect wife and done pretending that Matt's passivity doesn't drive me insane. Today was simple. I woke up in David's bed, ordered room service on the joint credit card, and met the girls for a late lunch. They barely even look at me anymore. Sarah threatened to call Matt. I just laughed and told her to go ahead. He'll probably thank her for caring about our marriage. David keeps charging things to my room. Champagne, gifts, room service, everything going on to the joint credit card Matt insisted we keep. Each new charge feels like another test. Matt's only response to my rising Vegas expenses. Hope you're having fun. The wedding ring stays in my purse now. It's just easier that way. David loves taking me to fancy restaurants and showing me off. Last night at No, I ran into a few guys from his office. They all knew I was married, but no one cared. I ended up back in David's suite with him and his colleague Tom. Tonight, we're having a group dinner at Tio's. David invited his entire crew, and I'm set to dress provocatively, leaving the ring in the room. I promised myself an unforgettable last night in Vegas. As for Matt, his evening plans probably involve protein shakes and meditation apps. I stopped checking Matt's messages. They're all the same. Miss you. Stay safe. Can't wait to hear about your trip. Each one makes it easier to slip into David's bed, or Mark's, or whoever's around. Matt's constant understanding has turned into a kind of permission. The girls have split into factions. Half won't speak to me, the other half pretends nothing's happening. That's fine with me. They're all stuck in the same boring marriages. I'm escaping. At least I'm being honest about what I want. At least I'm actually doing something about it. I called the front desk to extend my stay by another day and charged it without hesitation. David is staying too. He's not done with me yet. The thought of returning to Matt's peaceful smile and gentle questions makes me want to stay in Vegas forever. My phone's full of new contacts, new messages. David, Mark, Tom, others. Proof of a weekend spent exactly how I wanted. No guilt, no shame. Just the pure freedom of finally doing whatever I want with whoever I want. Tomorrow, I'll go home to Matt's world of careful conversations and considerate gestures. He'll ask about my trip, pretend not to notice the marks on my neck. probably make me a green smoothie to cure my hangover. That's Matt, perpetually understanding, eternally passive. David just texted. He's having a party tonight in his suite and asked me to bring the black dress he likes tearing off. He told me to invite any of the girls who aren't being judgmental and said he has friends coming who want to meet the wild married girl he's been telling them about. 7 hours until my flight home. Plenty of time to give the private investigator something worth photographing. Not that I know anything about any PI. Not that I care. Matt would never hire one. That would require taking real action. And that's just not who he is. Looking in the mirror and fixing my makeup for David's party, the woman staring back looks happy, free, alive. There's no trace of the frustrated wife who arrived here 5 days ago. Vegas changed her, or maybe it just revealed who she really is. It's time for one last night of freedom. One final chance to feel alive before returning to Matt's suffocating patience. David's waiting upstairs, and for once, I'm doing exactly what I want. Consequences be damned. The private investigator's final report arrives just as planned. Every moment of Julia's Vegas trip is documented in precise detail. Hotel surveillance footage, credit card statements, photos from clubs and restaurants, timestamps of entries and exits from various hotel rooms. Each piece of evidence is categorized, verified, and logged with exact dates and times. I review the documentation methodically, just like I used to analyze mission intelligence. Social media posts matched against surveillance photos, credit card charges aligned with hotel receipts, witness statements from hotel staff and club employees, and text messages recovered from our shared cloud account. Everything leads to the same conclusion, exactly what the PI was hired to confirm. The packing follows military protocol. Each designer outfit is removed from closets and drawers, folded precisely, and placed in industrial-grade garbage bags. Shoes are paired and wrapped, jewelry is catalogued and boxed, personal items are sorted and backed up. Wedding photos and albums are packed, then sealed in their own container. Nothing is left to chance, nothing overlooked. 8 bags in total, each labeled and inventoried. Everything she brought into this marriage, everything acquired during our 8 years together, all reduced to plastic containers. The bags line up in the garage like soldiers at inspection, waiting for deployment to the front porch. The locksmith works efficiently, changing every entry point. New deadbolts on all doors, fresh keypads for the security system, updated garage door frequencies. Even the garden gate gets a new padlock. Each new key and code is documented, and every old access point is eliminated. The house transforms into a secured position, ready for the confrontation ahead. The evidence folder comes together like a field manual. Photos arranged chronologically, each in its own protective sleeve. Financial documents highlighted and marked, social media screenshots stored with blockchain verification, hotel receipts aligned with credit card statements. A comprehensive tactical evaluation of her Vegas activities presented with military precision. Moving the bags to the porch follows careful timing. Not too early to attract the attention of the neighbors, but not too late to miss her return. Each bag is placed to ensure maximum visibility from the street, creating a bold visual statement. The neighbors' curtains twitch with curiosity, but operational security remains intact. The final confrontation demands meticulous preparation. Evidence folders are placed at the center of the kitchen counter, with divorce papers positioned beside them, yellow tabs marking the spots for signatures. Post-it notes highlight critical exhibits, and the lawyer's business card is positioned on top. Just another piece of strategic placement. The living room is cleared of personal items. No photos, no shared memories to trigger emotional reactions. The furniture is arranged to maintain tactical advantage, ensuring clear sightlines to all entry points. Security cameras are activated and monitored. Every detail is considered and every scenario planned. My phone registers her flight landing, but no response is needed to her arrival text. Radio silence is maintained to preserve tactical advantage. The security feed shows her Uber approaching, right on schedule. Everything is progressing as planned. The locks have been changed, the evidence is ready, and her belongings are waiting on the porch. 8 years of marriage reduced to garbage bags and documentation, all prepared for the final maneuver. There is a certain symmetry to it. She treated our vows as trash, and now her possessions reflect that. The house feels different now, secured, fortified, and ready for what lies ahead. The silence holds no emotion, just tactical clarity. Years of military training distilled into this moment, this mission, this carefully orchestrated conclusion. No room remains for negotiation, no space for explanations or excuses. The evidence speaks for itself. Hotel rooms shared with multiple partners. Credit cards maxed out on champagne, and room service for 3. Surveillance photos showing clear violations of marital boundaries. Every detail is documented, every piece verified. The lawyer stands ready to file the papers as soon as they're signed. The PI's evidence is backed up in triplicate and stored securely in various locations. Nothing left to chance, nothing open to interpretation. Just clear consequences for the actions she's chosen. She'll arrive expecting her usual passive husband, but instead she'll encounter a tactical response 8 years in the making. Her keys won't work. Her codes will fail. Her belongings will greet her on the porch. The evidence will reveal exactly why. Through the security cameras, I watch and wait. Years of military training have taught me this position: preparation, patience, and precision. The target approaches the objective. The operation is entering its final phase. Every piece is in place, every contingency covered, every tactical advantage secured. Mission execution begins now. My Uber pulls up to the house and something feels wrong. Black garbage bags line the porch like body bags. My front door code fails with an angry beep. My key won't turn in the lock. The crushing realization hits. I'm locked out of my own house. Matt opens the door without a word, not the usual welcoming smile or puppy dog eyes. His face is blank, military blank, like those photos from service days. I don't even ask about the evidence folder. It hits me first. Photos I never knew were taken. Timestamps, hotel receipts, credit card statements. David at the Cosmopolitan, market access, late-night elevator footage, room service bills for 3. Everything laid out with military precision. The divorce papers come next. No emotion, no discussion, just yellow tabs marking where to sign. The terms are harsh. No alimony, no property rights, no negotiations. Sign now or everything goes public. My family, my job, my social circle. All gone with one email blast. I try to bargain. Tears usually work with Matt, but this isn't my Matt. This is someone else. Someone who watches me cry with the same detached interest one gives a bug under glass. His only response is to tap the papers, pointing at the signature lines. My friends aren't answering. Melissa, who warned me, Sarah, who threatened to tell. Even the Vegas crew. Radio silence. A few sample photos sent to our social circle clear out my support system faster than a fire alarm. Just let me explain. I try. But the explanation dies as I flip through more photos. Me with David, me with Mark, me with people whose names I can't even remember. Each photo time-stamped, each moment captured, each stupid, drunken mistake documented with devastating clarity. The bags on the porch tell their own story. Designer clothes bought with his money, shoes he never complained about. Jewelry from guilty apologies I forced him to make. Everything I own has been sorted and packed while I lived out my Vegas fantasy. Reality crashes down like a hangover. 8 years of marriage ending in 30 minutes of silent signatures. No crying, no fighting, no second chances. Just the cold military execution of a plan I never saw coming. I grab 2 bags and leave the rest. My pride's already in shreds, so I might as well leave the designer wardrobe too. The Uber driver watches, probably adding another chapter to the neighborhood gossip. Then it hits. The full weight of what I've done, what I've lost, and what I thought I was proving. Something inside me snaps. You want to know why I did it? I scream at his impassive face. Because this cold, calculated thing, this is exactly who you are. You don't feel anything. You don't fight for anything. You just wait and watch and plan like some robot pretending to be human. The words pour out like cheap Vegas champagne. 8 years I waited for you to show some passion, some anger, something real. 8 years of your perfect understanding, your constant patience, and your endless emotional control. You want to know why I cheated? Because I wanted to feel something besides suffocated by your goddamn serenity. I'm fully screaming now, mascara running. Vegas hangover mixing with divorce reality. You couldn't even fight for our marriage like a normal person. No, you had to turn it into a military operation, photos, evidence, and tactical planning. Because God forbid Matt lose control for 1 second. The neighbors are definitely watching now. Good. Let them see. Congratulations, robot. You finally showed some feelings. Too bad it took destroying everything to prove you're human. I hope your precious control keeps you warm at night. He just watches, stone-faced, as I dissolve on our perfect lawn. Then, without a word, he closes the door. The lock clicks with military precision, leaving me alone with my garbage bags, my Vegas memories, and the crushing weight of realizing I never really knew my husband at all. The final insult? He was right about everything, and that hurts worse than any divorce paper ever could.